everyone. My name is Tom Milanovich. I'm co-owner of Quad's Gym, the training home of Ed Cohen. On behalf of Ed and myself, I'd like to thank you all for the overwhelming response we've had on the squat tape and the deadlift tape. Now I'd like to introduce you to someone who has over 50 world records and one of the greatest powerlifters ever, Ed Cohen.
Thank you, Tom.
Now I gotta be honest with you, of the 3 lifts, the bench press was probably the weak link. And over the past 2 to 3 years, your bench press has really improved. Now, what do you attribute this to?
The 3-point plan, I put it into play. And that involves improving my technique, setting a plan and sticking to it, and just plain working out a lot harder in the gym. So let me show you how I did it.
Great.
The bench press, probably the most popular exercise there is, but it's also the most incorrectly performed and overworked exercise also. In this video, we're going to show you how to do it right. We'll start off with the proper technique. I always set my grip first. Medium wide grip is always the safest to start at. After you set your grip, arch your back slightly to get it tight. And when I arch my back, I'm squeezing the muscles into my back to keep them tight. After that, usually I'll set my feet. In other words, I'll pull them back. What this does is stabilize your lower body so your legs are tight and actually your butt's tight. From this position, you're ready to start. Squeeze the bar, suck up your air. When letting it down, don't let it down too fast, and don't let out your air on the way down. Let your air out on the way up. Keep your elbows tight and squeeze the bar. You don't want your elbows flying off far out to the sides. You don't want them going too close in either. Up and back, right towards your spotter. That's correct form. The second exercise I do in my routine is a close grip bench press. It's basically the same as a regular bench press, except you take a closer grip. I do these because it helps with my lockout and tricep power. I'll show you. Now your feet and your back are basically the same as your regular bench press. Here you can see where my grip is. You're not doing a close grip tricep press here. We're doing a close grip bench press. Right here, again, thumbs wrapped around, back tight, take your air. Always squeeze the bar at all times. Let it down, hit the lower part of your chest, elbows tight, press right up. The spot where this will help develop the most strength is from here to here, where the triceps come into play, and just at the end with the lockout. Next exercise is inclines. The last exercise I do in my bench press routine is the incline barbell press. The only difference is I put my feet up on a bench. What this does is it isolates my upper body a little more. My grip is exactly the same as a bench press. You want to keep your back tight the same. Let it down controlled and squeeze the bar to the very top of the chest. Press up, right over your eyes. Don't press out in front of you. And don't press too far back or else you won't be able to bring it to where you want it to start again. Again, top of the chest, press right up. That concludes a heavy day of bench presses for me. I only do this routine once a week. It may not seem like a lot of exercises to you, but it enables me to recuperate and not overtrain. I've used this routine for the last 3 years, and it has worked for me considerably, so I know it'll work for you. This is my weekly workout routine. On Monday, I train my legs, which includes heavy squats, whatever assistance exercise I have for that day. Tuesday is my off day. On Wednesday, that's heavy chest day, includes bench presses, the warm-ups and whatever work set you're supposed to do for that day, and whatever reps. Close grip benches, I usually pause my close grips. That follows the same rep scheme as the bench press. Incline presses afterwards, same way, pause them just like your close grips. 2 work sets also, they follow the same rep scheme also, followed by usually some calf work and some ab work. On Thursday, that's nothing but shoulders. Start off with behind the necks, warm-ups, and then 1 or 2 work sets. Usually cycling your behind the necks just like you would a bench press, except starting with higher repetitions. Dumbbell lateral raises, 2 sets, 10 to 12 reps. Front dumbbell raises, 2 sets, 10 to 12 reps also. And bent over dumbbell raises, 2 sets of 10 to 12 reps also. Friday is deadlift day and back work assistance. And on Saturday, that's light chest and arms. Start off with light wide grip bench presses. After your warm-ups, do 2 work sets, preferably of 10 reps, and usually I pause these. Tricep pushdowns, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Weighted dips, 1 set of 15 reps. Usually I pause my dips on the bottom. Tricep extensions, 2 sets of 10 to 12 reps. I also sometimes pause them on the bottom. And preacher curls, 2 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Sunday is the off day.
Okay, that's great, Ed. Now we have the technique, but what's the plan? Set it up for me. How do we do it?
Okay, a plan is first setting a goal, a realistic goal that you will achieve, figuring out how many weeks you want to train for, the sets, the reps, and how much weight you're going to handle throughout it. To make it easier for you, let me show you. This is the training cycle with exact weights, sets, and repetitions that I used for my last contest. The first week was 395 pounds for 2 sets of 10 reps. That's after warm-ups. Followed by close grips. I always pause my close grips. This was done with 335 pounds for 2 sets of 10 reps. That is also followed by incline presses with a barbell. 2 sets of 10 reps with 285 pounds, also paused. Week 2 was 410 pounds for 2 sets of 10 reps, followed by 350 pounds on the close grip for 2 sets of 10 reps, and 300 pounds for 2 sets of 10 reps on the incline press. Week 3, I dropped my reps down to 8 reps. 425 pounds for 2 sets of 8 reps, followed by close grips at 365 pounds for 2 sets of 8 reps, followed by inclines at 315 pounds for 2 sets of 8 reps. Remember that close grips and inclines are always paused. The fourth week is 440 pounds for 2 sets of 8 reps, followed by close grips at 380 pounds for 2 sets of 8 reps, followed by inclines at 330 pounds for 2 sets of 8 reps. The fifth week was sets of 5 reps, starting with 455 pounds, 2 sets of 5 reps, followed by close grips again at 395 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps, and inclines 345 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. Week 6, 470 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. Close grips, 410 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. And inclines, 360 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. The 7th week, 485 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. Followed by close grips, 425 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. followed by inclines, 375 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. Week 8, 500 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps, followed by close grips at 440 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps, and followed by inclines, 390 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps. Now I drop to sets of 3. Week 9, 515 pounds for 2 sets of 3 reps, followed by close grips, 455 pounds for 2 sets of 3 reps, followed by inclines, 405 pounds for 2 sets of 3 reps. Week 10, 530 pounds for 2 sets of 3 reps, followed by close grips, 470 pounds for 2 sets of 3 reps, followed by inclines, 420 pounds for 2 sets of 3 reps. Now I drop to sets of 2. Week 11, 545 pounds for 2 sets of 2 reps, followed by close grips, 485 pounds for 2 sets of 2 reps, followed by inclines, 435 pounds for 2 sets of 2 reps. Week 12 is the last heavy bench day that I won't wear a bench shirt on, and that went as follows: 555 pounds for 2 sets of 2 reps, followed by close grips, 500 pounds for 2 sets of 2 reps, and followed by inclines, 450 pounds for 2 sets of 2 reps. Week 13 is the week where usually I'll take a single, a heavy single, and try out a bench shirt just to get used to it. I don't like to use one all the time, and in some meets you can't. In that week, I took 585 pounds for a single and paused it.
Okay, Ed, now, hypothetically speaking, say my bench press right now is 275 pounds. I wanted to get it to 300. How do I do it? How do I go about it?
Well, basically the same way I'd go about getting my bench press up. You have to follow the same type of cycle: bench press, close grips, inclines, same type of assistance work, and just be very regimented and stick to your plan. Now what I'll do is I'll set it up right now for you.
Great.
What we'll do now is start off for sets of 10 at 180 pounds, 2 sets, followed by close grips, 2 sets of 10 reps, and inclines, 2 sets of 10 reps. Now as far as what weights to use on close grip and inclines, it's pretty rough. Basically you'll have to figure it out for yourself based on body structure, because some people have longer arms, some people have shorter arms. So your first 2 weeks of 10 reps with close grip and inclines, it will gauge what you should do on the following weeks. You'll be able to figure it out by that.
Okay, in the close grips and the inclines now, I'll go up in approximately 10 to 15 pound increments.
Probably 10 pounds, just like you would the bench press.
Okay.
Because you don't want to take too big of jumps. Trying to get strong too fast makes you peak out too early, so you can actually burn out. So the first week was 10 reps for 180 pounds, 2 sets. Second week, 190 pounds for 10 reps, 2 sets. We'll basically go up 10 pounds a week. Third week, 200 pounds for sets of 8, 2 sets. The fourth week, 210 pounds for sets of 8 reps again for 2 sets. The fifth week we'll drop to 5 reps, 220 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps, followed by 230 pounds for 2 sets of 5 reps on the 6th week. On the 7th week, 240 pounds for 5 reps. That should give you the 300 pounds that you need.
Okay, now one more question now, just to verify this and make it a little simpler. If I'm doing 240 for 5 for 2 sets in the regular bench press, when I go to the close grips, again, I'll go 5 repetitions with whatever weight I determine, and in the incline, I'll do 2 sets of 5 with the weight that's determined. And
yes.
Both these exercises and all 4 of these sets will be pause sets.
Yes, close grips and inclines are always paused. Your bench press is always done in a touch and go fashion, but without a bounce. The close grips and inclines will also follow the same rep scheme as your bench. Whatever your heaviest set of bench is, whereas like your first week 180 pounds for 10 reps, you'll be followed that with by 10 reps on your close grips and inclines.
Okay.
The 8th week, we'll start sets of 3, 250 pounds for 3 reps. The 9th week, 260 pounds for 3 reps. The 10th week will drop to 2 reps. And that'll be 270 pounds for 2 reps. The 11th week, you'll do 280 pounds for 2 sets of 2 reps. That'll give you 300 pound bench press.
Well, that's great, Ed. Okay, we have the technique and we have the plan. But now what do we do?
You put it all together. Let me show you one of my last heavy training sessions before my last meet. This is a workout that I did getting ready for my last contest. I started off by going 135 for 2 sets of warm-ups. As many reps as you feel is necessary to get a good warm-up. That's followed by 245, which you see here.
Do you always keep your feet up on the bench like that, Ed, when you're warming up?
For a lot of warm-ups I do, only because I get a better feel when I put them down, and it's like wrapping your knees when you squat. So when I put them down, I'm more stable, so it feels better with the heavier weights. The 245 was for 10 reps. That was followed by 335 pounds, which we're putting on now. I usually warm up with a little bit wider grip and then pull it in closer as I get heavier.
Actually, how far out is your normal grip? I mean, when we're talking about the line on a power bar.
The line on a power bar is 32 inches. Usually I put my ring finger on the line for my heaviest sets. $335 was for a set of 5. Followed by 425 pounds for 3. You don't need a lot of reps to warm up. Usually just at the beginning sets to get enough blood in the area. The heavier weight just usually gets you ready for the next set with even heavier weight than that. Based on how I feel, I'll either take a big jump or a small jump. Sometimes if you're not feeling warm enough, it's better to take a couple extra warm-up sets to ensure that you are warm enough.
I see you put the plates underneath your feet. Have you been doing it the whole time since you've been benching, or is it something you started doing recently?
I've been doing it for a number of years. Not because I'm too short, my feet don't touch the floor, but I get more stability. I bench with a flat back. I don't take a big arch like some people, so I don't really need to put my feet on the floor. It also keeps me a lot more stable in my lower body. It's 480 pounds for 2 reps. Like I said, if I feel good, I take a bigger jump.
Make it easy, Eddie. Make it easy. It's a warm-up. Make it easy.
Remember, never do a bench or never do any lift until you're absolutely ready for it. Don't walk up to the bar or the bench and lie down unless you're ready to do the weight.
That wasn't too bad.
Always have good spotters. The person that is lifting off for you has to be perfect, or else the bar can be too far behind you or too far in front of you. You can't afford a mistake when you get to your heaviest sets, whether it's 500 pounds or 250 pounds. Try to make everything perfect.
How much has that affected you in the past? Like getting a lift off in a meet. I mean, obviously you train with somebody all year round, and you're used to their lift offs, their hand offs, and all of a sudden you get in a meet and you're dealing with a total stranger. How do you, how can you compensate for that, or does it bother you?
There's some meets that they let you hand off as far as one of your training partners, some hand off. But other meets, like some national championships and world championships, it's best to see who will be spotting on that day and doing lift-offs and try to talk to them beforehand and tell them exactly how you want it.
Suck it up, man. Suck it up.
To lift the heaviest amount of weight you can, or you're capable of, everything has to be perfect. All the conditions have to be met. And no one can make the conditions right but you.
Go, Eddie.
And sometimes I can lay on the bench and just go for it right away. Other times I'll take my time, like you see right here. You gotta make sure your head's right. This set was 520 pounds for one rep. And as you notice, I gradually reduced the amount of reps as I raise the weight. That's what they call pyramiding. It would be a waste if I tried to do 520 for 3 or 4 and then went to my 550, which is my top set of the day, and tried to do the reps I was supposed to. There's no reason to waste all that energy on 520 when your top set is 550.
Do you wrap any special way for the bench press?
I just like it a little bit tight. It usually stabilizes my wrist. It doesn't allow your hand to go too far back if you get out of the groove, or if the weight falls different in your hand as far as when you're gripping it.
This is 550 here. This is a lot of weight. What are you weighing right now?
I think I weigh about 225 in this picture.
Come on, boys. Let's go. Make it easy, bro. Make it easy. Let's go, Eddie. Hey, speed. Come on, man. Let's go. Make it easy, bro.
And when you're ready, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go now. Come on, big man. Make it easy, bro. Make it easy. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Come on, big man. Tight squeeze, Eddie. Tight squeeze. Let's go, Eddie.
As you notice on this set and a few of the previous sets, I raised my head a little bit. At the time, I had a little bit of a rib injury, and if I kept my head down, it actually made it hurt a little bit more and uncomfortable on my bench, so I raised it a little bit. Now, in a contest, you're not allowed to do that, and normally I don't. So make the conditions right. If you can't do it in the contest, don't do it in the gym. Usually, I'll do close grips after I bench press. After the 2 sets of heavy bench press, I'll do 2 sets of heavy close grips. I'll do this all the way up to my last heavy day. Because if it's what you're accustomed to in training, you don't change it. This is 505 pounds on the close grip. Again, they are both done with a pause.
Again, too, I think we should say something about the close grip here now as opposed to the narrow grip. Not really the same thing. Again, the close grip, not quite as narrow as a narrow grip. Somewhere between the
It's called a close grip bench press. Mm-hmm. So I use it only as an aid to help my bench press. I don't use it for actual assistance work for my triceps, or else I would have to go a little bit narrower. And I've noticed that does put a little more pressure on my elbows and on my wrist. So it's better to be safe than sorry. always do 2 sets. Usually if you have a good day on your bench, the heaviest exercise of the day, you have a good day on all the other ones. As far as close grip and incline is concerned. I roll up my sleeves, as you can see. That's only a matter of habit. I've been doing it for so many years that it's like a mental checkpoint. Everyone has their own little idiosyncrasies.
Come on, big man. Good work, Jack. Go ahead, take it. Up. Good. Strong. Up.
Usually I won't need a warm-up to do inclines on afterwards.
Let's go, Ed.
Again, this will be done for 2 sets of 2 reps.
So you go right to your heavy sets then?
Yes, there's no warm-up for me because I've warmed up so much in regular bench presses and close grips already. This is 430 pounds. I felt kind of good that day, so instead of doing 2 reps, I did 3. What I usually do on incline is I put my feet up on another bench. That ensures that I just use all upper body and don't use my legs. Sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. As long as you can learn from your bad days. That concludes my Wednesday workout. On Thursday I'll do shoulders. I'll start off my shoulder workout by doing behind the neck presses. About the same way as you would do a bench press or a squat or a deadlift as far as your warm-ups. Pyramid up to the top set of the day. Usually I try to pyramid my behind the neck cycle just like I would a bench cycle or a squat cycle.
Okay, in other words, you're going to try to peak at the same time?
Yes.
You'll try to hit a max or a heavy double pretty much the same time you do on the bench press?
Yes. I usually like to hit heavy shoulders about the same time because if you're doing heavy bench presses and squats and deadlifts, you don't want to be training your shoulders light because they can take too much wear and tear. You want them accustomed to the weight you're going to be handling. You won't see someone who can only do 135 pounds behind a neck press benching 550. Can't afford to have a weak link.
I see you don't take a lift off, but it's just 2 1/4 now. It's kind of heavy. No lift off involved here at all?
Sometimes if my shoulders are feeling good, I usually don't take a lift off. I'll do a couple warm-up sets at 135. This was 225 pounds. The next set is 315 pounds. Again, pyramid up just like you would a bench press. Same thing, don't do the set until you're ready. Now if you notice too, I don't let the weight way down to way below my ears. I don't think it's good for your shoulders. just to the bottom part of yours, low enough.
Now, again, even with the purpose of doing behind the neck press is to help your bench press.
Yes, it's an assistance exercise to help my bench press. I mean, they don't have behind the neck contests, and they don't have too many curl contests, so it's kind of an irrelevant exercise, but you have to do it to make the other one stronger.
Any difference in wrapping for this now as opposed to the bench press?
There's no difference. Usually just on my pressing movements, I'll wear wrist wraps and the squat. Next set is 350 pounds. Sometimes I'll actually do a single arm behind the next two if I feel okay.
What kind of grip are we using here? Where were your hands now in reference to the line?
About the same as when I bench, sometimes actually even a little closer, based on how I feel. Sometimes if you're not tight enough, your shoulders aren't tight or too sore from the previous day of benching, I'll actually have to take a little bit closer grip. That'll make it a little tighter. So that was 350 pounds for one. My next set will be my heavy set. It's 375 pounds.
It's a lot of weight. Again, let's talk about mental checkpoints here. What are we thinking about? You take the ball off the rack. What's going on?
What I try to do is make a set feel like the previous set. And as far as tightness, how fast you let it down, how hard you squeeze the bar. You want to duplicate everything you've done from your best set. You can actually make yourself feel it before you even go. Try to keep out any negative points you may have in your head. And I'll do 375 for a second set of 2 reps. Sometimes when it even feels really good, like I said, I'll go for a single. Those 2 sets felt very good, and I still have a lot of energy left, so I figured I'd try 400 for a change. It was the first time I've ever did it. Not too many people can do 400 behind the neck press, especially seated.
Incredible amount of weight.
You have to get mentally prepared just like any other set.
Made it look easy.
Didn't feel easy. After the behind the neck press, the next exercise I do is front lateral raises. I do them a little differently. I don't have my palms facing down. I have my palms facing for me, almost like you were going to do a hammer curl.
And what's the reason for that?
I think it isolates the front deltoid more. You can actually see it working harder.
What do we do for weights here? Do you go up every week?
Yeah, based on how I feel. With dumbbells, you're not going to go up as much as a barbell. So, I mean, you can go from sometimes 50 to 60 and it'd feel like a ton of weight. But I'll usually end up with 65s to 75s on front laterals in that fashion. After front laterals, I'll go to side laterals. Sometimes I'll do them seated, as you see here. Sometimes I'll do them standing.
Doing roughly 8 to 10 reps on these exercises?
Yes, always. Most of my assistance work is set up that way. That concludes Thursday workout on shoulders. On Saturdays, it's my last chest and arm day. After a couple sets of warm-ups, I'll do my wide grip benches with my feet up if I feel right. This is 335 pounds. I'll pause them also. This day just flushes you out, helps you recover for your next day of bench presses on Wednesday, which is your heavy day.
Talk about wide grip. How wide are we going?
Not overly too wide as far as where it's a little bit outrageous, not to the ends. Just a couple inches wider than your normal grip would be fine. For a little more of a stretch. Usually that'll be for 2 sets. There's no reason to try to see how heavy you can go, even if you feel good. Stick to the program and you'll get to where you're supposed to be.
Now the reasoning behind doing this?
Well, I think I said it earlier when it helps you recover for your next day of bench presses.
In other words, you're trying to get blood to the area?
Yeah, it's not really used for a growth day because you can't grow twice a week. You don't recover so much. Just kind of helps you recover a little bit more because there's so many little muscles involved in the bench press. And most of the time I'll follow that up with a set or 2 of flies. Anywhere from 10 to 15 reps. Again, just for a stretch to get a lot of blood in the area, help it recover for your next day.
Again, are we pyramiding these weights or they pretty much stay the same all year round?
Pretty much the same all year round. They may vary like 10 or 15 pounds or so, but not by much. The idea is not to see how heavy you can go on this day.
Are you training to get a pump here, or is it just to flush the area?
Just to flush the area. You may get a pump, but it's not like I try to. This is followed by triceps. I'll start out by doing tricep pushdowns first.
2, 3, down.
With me, I use so much weight on tricep pushdowns that I usually have to have someone step on my feet and help me down with the weight.
4, come on. 5, 6, 7, 8.
This is 200 pounds here. As far as push-downs, sometimes I'll even go down to 5 reps if my elbows feel good enough.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, down. Let go. Let's go, buddy. Oh, 1, 3, 4, come on, Evan. Nice. 5, 6, good. 7, give me a single. 8, take it, good.
And this is 225 pounds. Out of all the tricep exercises, I think that push downs is the most important. I follow the tricep push downs off with a heavy set of dips.
How much weight are we using here?
I think I have 3 plates. You know, sometimes it could be more, sometimes it could be less. You always have to think about getting hurt or what's safe. Sometimes going too heavy could be a little too dangerous.
And this is done for 1 set?
Yes. One set till failure. Usually I pause, a real fast pause on the bottom. I don't like bouncing on these. I think it's a little dangerous for your elbows and your shoulders. Sometimes I'll do tricep extensions. If my elbows are hurting, sometimes I'll do curls. Now it'll either be preacher curls, barbell curls, hammer curls, or just regular dumbbell curls. All depends what I feel like on that day. Today I decided on some barbell curls. Usually 2 or 3 sets. Try to do everything strict. You're only cheating yourself when you try to do it with a bounce or bending your knees too much. And I'll follow my arm workup with calves and abs. There's a lot of different calf machines. Usually the days I work them, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, I'll do a different exercise each time.
It's Peg's fault somehow, don't you think?
And that can be 2 or 3 sets. And depending on the day, like Monday, I'll do seated calves. Wednesday, I'll do standing calves, and I'll try to go as heavy as I can for 8 to 10 reps on those. And then this day is like a seated donkey calf machine, and I'll do high reps on there up to 20. The reason for doing calves 3 days a week is because when you squat and when you deadlift, that's your stabilizing muscle, your whole lower leg. So it's important to keep that strong. And when I do abdominals, usually I put 2 or 3 different exercises. 2 or 3 sets. Today I did a Nautilus crunch machine. Your abdominals are really important, especially when you squat and you deadlift. Helps protect your back.
Do you always train with weight?
No, not all the time. It's usually based on how I feel. The heavier I get, closer to a meet, I'll usually add more weight. Because, I mean, I do have a thicker waistline, but that's usually only to protect me from the heavier weight, as far as for squats and deadlifts. And that's about it. That pretty much concludes my Saturday workout.
Wow, that was great, eh? I'm psyched. Do you have anything you'd like to add in closing?
Well, my bench has improved a lot over the last few years, Tom. So I really know what I'm talking about. I know what it takes. I know this tape will help you. The points I would like to stress are technique. We showed you proper technique. A plan. We showed you how to set up a plan. Hard work. That's up to you. Get in the gym and do it. And set realistic goals so you never get discouraged. And remember, Stay strong and be safe.
Gary, you were at the dance. Anthony, you were on deck. Robert, you were in the hole. Let's go! Let's go! Come on, Eric! Come on, Chip, let's do this! Come on, let's do it! Come on, Eric! Come on, Chip, let's go! Here we go! Come on, let's go!
Back down. All right, guys, we're gonna start our